Hi everyone and welcome to this video. I decided to make this video in response to a thread that was on the MojoCon Facebook group yesterday, and it related to ND filters or neutral density filters. For those of you who are seeking to have more of a cinematic look and be able to manually control both your shutter speed and ISO to achieve maximum quality, as well as achieve that 24 frame per second 1/48 second shutter speed look, you will undoubtedly require some sort of way of reducing the amount of light that gets to your sensor, and ND filters or neutral density filters are the solution. Now here are some of the ND filter solutions that I have personally come across, tried and tested. First of all, these are some 37mm ND filters. The cool thing about them is that they're cheap and they typically come in a set of several pieces of ND filters. The kit that I purchased was from Amazon. I think it cost me a little less than $20, or definitely less than $20. And it comes in, again, 37mm screw mount. And the nice thing about them is that you can stack them. Of course, given the fact that they do come in 37mm mount, that means that you need some way of attaching it to your iPhone or to your smartphone. The options, of course, range from cheap solutions like this. This is just a cheap clip off of Amazon that has a 37mm female thread on the inside. And you can screw that in and then clip it on over the camera. Or you could have a dedicated rig like this. This particular rig, of course, is the Helium core that we make. It has a 37mm lens mount. Now, of course, the downside to using a cheap filter solution like this is that they're cheap and they're manufactured cheaply, which means that the quality is probably not great. And although it's nice that you can stack them, it does also mean that you have to stack them. So one solution that I found that is really, really interesting and really helpful, of course, is a variable ND filter. Now the variable ND filter screws on, comes in a bunch of different sizes and screws onto a threaded mount. One thing you can do is, again, if you have a cheap clip that has a 37mm mount, or if you have a rig that has a 37mm mount, you can buy a step-up adapter ring. This one goes from 37mm to 52mm. So once you stack that, or once you place that into your rig, you can then screw in this filter and then set your shutter speed as well as your ISO settings, and then just use the variation in the ND filter. And you might be able to see it right here. Actually, you can see as you turn the barrel of the adjustment ring, the amount of light that it lets through actually changes. Now this is something that I absolutely love because it's very, very convenient to be able to vary the amount of neutral density that you apply to in front of the camera while you're out in the field without having to pull something else out and stack it. In addition to that, you get a degree of, you can get a fine degree of control and variation in the amount of light that you let through by virtue of the fact that this is a ring adjustment, and the polarized lenses or polarized glass on both the top and bottom allow you to vary the amount of light that goes through in using very fine gradation. The downside, of course, is that using something like this on the Moondog Labs anamorphic adapter or any other wide lens becomes challenging or degrades your quality at higher settings. And as you can see from this shot, there is banding that occurs at higher levels or higher settings that is just absolutely horrible. Some of you may like the look. I personally do not, and it's definitely an issue with variable ND filters. To the best of my knowledge, this banding effect occurs even with high quality variable ND filters. This is a very cheap one that cost about $20. off of Amazon. Now, how do you attach this to your iPhone rig? Again, you have this mounting ring, or step-up adapter ring. You'll need a clip or a rig, but if you're using something like the Moondog Labs anamorphic adapter, Moondog Labs actually makes a filter holder or an attachment that allows you to attach a filter or filter holder. This particular one is for the anamorphic adapter. I know that there are versions for Moment lenses as well as Schneider Optics iPro lenses. So really clever and nifty device. I've lost the screw barrel on this particular one. I hope that Moondog Labs will send me a replacement. Hint, hint. Now the third option, of course, is again, once you have a means of attaching a set of filters or a filter solution to your iPhone, again, clip, rig, this is the third option, and this is my preferred option. So I often pair this with the Moondog Labs filter holder. This is the Cokin P-series filter system. Now, first we start off. It effectively is two different parts, or three different parts. You have this ring, which you attach to your camera, and these rings range in price, I think from $12 to $20. You have a separate filter holder, which you then attach to this adapter ring. And then you actually have the filters themselves. And there are 3 slots that you can then insert those filters into. That means you can stack ND filters, you can stack graduated ND filters, you can stack a combination of different effects filters as well as an ND filter. The combination is just limited by imagination and the number of slots that there are. The really, really interesting thing and great thing about this is that if you're using different camera systems, if you're using an iPhone on one day and shooting with a Sony a7S or Nikon D810 or Canon 5D Mark IV or some other camera that has a different, with lenses that have different filter sizes, you don't need to purchase an additional filter that does the same thing. All you need to do is just purchase one of these adapter rings that are appropriately sized for that lens. Again, in this case, this adapter ring is cut for a 52mm thread, which fits the Moondog Labs filter holder. You can purchase different sizes, and then you can just slip it into the filter holder. There we go. I hope that this was a useful introduction to some of the ND filter solutions that are available for your smartphone filmmaking as well as smartphone photography. For photographers, many people often like that look that you get from a long exposure when there's some kind of movement, either running water or light streaks from a traffic scene, or even the smear of clouds that are moving slowly. And the only way of accomplishing that look without overexposing the scene is to use ND filters. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you found this informative and helpful. If you like this video, I hope that you'll click like below, as well as click on the subscribe button, and be sure to also click on the little bell icon to make sure that you're notified whenever we publish a new video. Thanks and have a great day.